So we've added a new getUsersResource method, a method that accepts two request parameters, page and limit. And we've added a new method to our user service implementation, getUsers. And now we are ready to run this application and see how it works. So I will run it. Okay, my application is up and running. I'll bring up Postman and I'm going to try this HTTP request. So I have a new tab opened. It's going to be HTTP GET request. It's going to be sent to our users root resource class. And two request parameters are going to be provided using the URL query string, and these are page and limit. Now I think I have changed the port number. This is not 888, this should be 8080. And if I send this request, it should not be authorized theoretically because we have added Sprint security, and at this moment we did not include any headers. So if I send it now, yes, I get back HTTP status 403. So let's log in into our application and get the authorization header. So here's my tab that performs HTTP request to perform login, and I will send this request to get authorization header. I'll copy it. I'll get back to my get users request and I will add a new header, which is authorization. And I'll copy and paste the beer and the JSON Web Token value here. Okay, so now the request should be authorized and I will send it. Now we got back an empty list. Why? Let's go back to our code and look at it. So we will start with user controller. Let's make sure that we read request parameters correctly. So the page, the default value, and I think I know why the default value is 1. I think, yeah, the value, it starts with 0 actually, not 1, but 0 for the request parameter for the page. Okay, so let's try this again. So let's run this application again. Okay, it's up and running. I'll switch back and the page value is 1. It should start with 0. So let's send it again. And here we go. I get my list and it is an XML representation. So I will add accept header to get back application JSON. Send it again. So I have a list in JSON now, so it's working. It doesn't have to do with the default value because default value is used only if the request parameter here is not provided. As you can see, it doesn't start with 1, it starts with 0. And let's experiment with 50. Let's say we want to return 2 records only per page. So the first page or the 0 page will contain 2 records only. So I'll send this request and I should get back 2 records only. So that's working well. Now let's get page 1, which is actually a page 2. So let's send this request now and we get back only 1 record. So our pagination works. Let's now not provide one of the parameters. Let's start with page 0 and do not provide limit. So I'll send my request and I get back all records because the maximum is 25 and I have only 3 in my database. Let's limit the maximum to 2, for example. Let's go back and say the maximum limit is 2 records. I'll save this, stop my application, run it again, and let's see if we get 2 records only because maximum is 2. Okay, so for first page, I should get 2 records. I'm sending it and I get back 2 records. So the default value is also working. I can switch that to 1 and get next record for the next page. And before we finish with this video, let's make a little change in our project so that our API users do not have to provide 0 for the first page because it's a little bit confusing, but have to provide 1 for page 1 and 2 for page 2. So I'll switch back to my project and then I'll go to user service implementation and I will add a little code snippet inside of this method get users for the page. So I will add an if statement saying that if page is greater than 0, then I will decrease the value of page by 1, like this. In other words, I'll say if page is greater than 0, then I'll say page equals page minus 1, like this. So now I'll save my work and I will run my application again, bring up my Postman, and now I can use page 1 instead of 0, send this request, and I get back 2 records because we have limited the number of maximum records to 2. If I try 0, it will still work. I should get back 2. But if I try page 2, then I will get back only 1 record. Okay, so it's working now and there is no confusion that page 1 is actually page 0. Okay, so let's continue.